When the gunfire of the Second World War finally stopped, a new conflict instantly took its place. The United States and the Soviet Union scrambled to secure every piece of advanced military technology the Axis powers left behind. Allied intelligence agencies swept across Europe and Asia, hauling back tens of thousands of enemy documents. They built massive bureaucratic machines to ensure every schematic and chemical formula was translated, cataloged, and analyzed. Meanwhile, the public demanded accountability. At the Tokyo trials, high-ranking Japanese officials faced a global audience, answering for systemic war crimes. But behind this public accountability, a secret transaction was taking place. American intelligence officers were negotiating in the shadows, actively protecting some of history's most prolific mass murderers in exchange for their scientific research. General Douglas MacArthur held absolute authority over the reconstruction and intelligence operations in occupied Japan. His investigators uncovered a covert biological warfare program run by the Imperial Japanese Army, commanded by General Shiro Ishii. Ishii's network possessed clinical data on how human bodies reacted to lethal diseases, chemical agents, and extreme physical trauma. American investigators made an explicit offer: absolute political immunity for Ishii and his top researchers. In exchange, the United States government would receive exclusive access to their biological data. American scientists were bound by medical ethics and could only test on animals. They viewed Ishii's human data as a unique resource, deeming it too scientifically valuable to lose to the Soviets and ethically impossible to replicate. That data originated in the Pingfang district of Manchuria. The Japanese military established the facility under the ironic official title of the Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department. The highly educated doctors and researchers who worked there used the euphemism Marta, or logs, to refer to their prisoners. This language allowed the staff to dehumanize their victims completely, viewing them as raw material for experimentation rather than human beings. The clinical records detailed brutal methodology. In frostbite studies, researchers submerged prisoners' limbs in ice water until they froze solid. Technicians then struck the frozen appendages with a short stick, listening for a sound like a plank of wood, before testing different methods of thawing. Other research involved intentional infection with plague and anthrax to track the precise progression of the diseases. To observe the internal damage before decomposition set in, surgeons performed vivisections, dissecting the prisoners while they were still alive and conscious. Pingfang functioned as a systematic factory for harvesting raw data from living subjects. Inside, technicians stripped over 3,000 men, women, and children of their names, assigned them 3-digit numbers, and experimented on them until they died. This was not just a testing lab, it was an active military production facility. Unit 731 was dedicated to the mass production and weaponization of disease for combat. Every month, the facility churned out 300 kilograms of plague and 1,000 kilograms of cholera. As the chart shows, while they manufactured pathogens by the ton, it takes only a single microscopic dot of these bacteria to kill a human being. After determining that traditional bacterial bombs were ineffective, Ishii's engineers shifted to aerial spraying. Planes dispersed plague-infected fleas from the air, creating a massive, lethal radius that ensured the pathogens could find and infect human hosts on a wide scale. Unit 731 conducted real-world field tests on Chinese cities like Ningbo and Changde, inducing artificial epidemics. These biological strikes resulted in a civilian death toll estimated between 200,000 and 500,000 people. As Soviet forces advanced in 1945, Ishii issued his final orders: destroy the Pingfang complex, execute the remaining prisoners, and burn every piece of incriminating evidence. By erasing the physical facility and the victims, the perpetrators ensured that their clinical data became the sole surviving commodity of their crimes. Back in Washington, the U.S. military actively integrated the Pingfang data into its own biological warfare programs, treating the results of the Manchurian experiments as a classified national asset. The American cover-up faced an international challenge when the Soviet Union captured 12 Unit 731 members. In 1949, they prosecuted these men in the Khabarovsk war crimes trials, recording the atrocities in thousands of pages of Cyrillic text. The United States government suppressed these findings. To protect the immunity deal, American officials publicly dismissed the Soviet trial records as communist propaganda, burying the truth of the experiments for decades. The escalating rivalry of the Cold War provided the ultimate smokescreen. Both superpowers prioritized their own military interests, allowing the cover-up to persist as a matter of national security. General Shiro Ishii lived out the rest of his life in peace. He collected a government pension and never faced a tribunal for the hundreds of thousands of deaths he oversaw. His subordinates also returned to society. Shielded by the immunity deal, the researchers of Unit 731 took prestigious roles in post-war Japanese medicine, serving as university professors and pharmaceutical executives. The victims were legally erased, including American prisoners of war who survived the biological camps. Upon their return, the U.S. military forced them to sign secrecy acts, threatening them with treason if they ever spoke about what happened at Pingfang. The files obtained at Pingfang remain a part of the global scientific record, the final, silent transaction in a deal that traded the lives of thousands for the metrics of their deaths.